Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about something which is an existential threat to what we see outside. That is the total of fines paid by banks to the FCA over the 3 years from 2012 to 2015. £2.5 billion. And every one of those, as far as the bank's concerned, is wasted. These are very, very large sums, and the regulator has so far said that they've been quite nice, that if behaviour doesn't improve, it will get worse. In fact, the current threat is for senior bankers, should they misbehave in the terms of regulation, they will be held responsible for any damages done, and they will have the threat of jail over them. Even if they don't go to jail, there will be the threat of ruin, end of career, and no further work in the city or the financial sector. This is a serious threat. And unfortunately, the thing which has been put in place supposedly to improve the behaviour of bankers, which is enhanced regulation, is in part going to be one of the causes of more and more damage. Of course, nobody really wants bankers to be harmed, would there? Well, there are crusading newspapers. There are ambitious lawmakers, people who want to make a reputation. Throw a banker in jail. Yeah, you'll be popular then. There are vengeful politicians, people who will seek to make political capital by the destruction of banks, of bankers, and of the financial system that probably most of us work inside. I shall. Right. What actually happens normally when you're faced with a situation where you've got complex data is that you build a database. And the traditional database is something where you try very, very hard indeed to get the structure right from the beginning. Changing the structure of a relational database is something you don't want to do. It's expensive, it's difficult, it introduces all kinds of problems. However, the format of regulations is such that this is exactly what you have to do on a regular basis. Things change, things disappear, things are added wholesale. This is not a good situation. Now, typically, the solution to regulatory problems and so on has been to do point solutions, like this young chap is trying to do. Unfortunately, the deluge of regulation means that you're more likely to wind up like this. And I suspect there are a few compliance officers who feel rather like this every day. Unfortunately, it's not just the regulations that we have to be concerned about. We have the processes within the institutions. We have the relation of those processes to the various handbooks, to the various regulations and so on. And as of March the 7th of this year, we have to have certification of senior people on an annual basis to say they are fit to do their job. Failure on any of these three fronts is going to give problems for the bank, for the compliance officer, and of course for the people potentially looking at 6 months in Wormwood Scrubs. So we seem to have got ourselves into something of a labyrinth, something of a mess, something hard to find our way through. So let's look back to the Greeks. They have many lessons for us. This is Ariadne, name of the company, who was a princess of Crete who helped the hero Theseus to find his way through the labyrinth, to kill the Minotaur, and to return. Here is our labyrinth. Oops, sorry, let me go. That is the tribute that the banks are paying, and here's the monster. Many-headed monster. This is the product. I'm not going to talk about it at all, except to say that we've got the various aspects of the business in here. So what do we have? We have processes, we have regulation, we have certification, and we have management. And that is what Ariadne brings together. Thank you.
Question for Charles. Here we go. Hi, Charles. Charles, you didn't actually say anything about what you do, your company, where you are. You just described a problem we're all aware of. Why are you here?
Because we have a solution to it.
It's very nice, but are you going to share anything about it with us?
You are absolutely correct. And I didn't want to go into the details of a product. I didn't want to go into the details of how it's structured and everything else. What I wanted to say is, here is a serious problem which is worthy of discussion. And what I want to do is to perhaps open up the discussion with potential partners, with potential collaborators. So people who have this concern, we can talk about the details of it because you have to get into some detail. What I didn't want to do was to get down to a lot of stuff about MongoDB databases, about Meteor.js technologies and so on. Thank you.